Our next guest is comedy royalty. He's the man who's been making us laugh for decades, a legend of the stand-up game, and quite possibly the funniest person alive. All you have to do is ask Jerry Seinfeld. He'll tell you. He's roasted, he's coasted, and now he's boasting a brand new show on Prime Video. The man, the myth, the punchline himself, the Right Reverend Dr. George Wallace. How are you this morning, George?
How the hell you know I used to be a reverend?
Oh, man, I dig up, man. I do my research before these interviews, you know.
Gentry, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on this network. You know, first of all, y'all know I'm Shaq's granddaddy, right?
I knew that, yes. How did you make such a massive man? You must have, like, super sperm.
He's really not mine, but he's got a lot of money, and I got to go along with it,
okay? Yes, he does. And he's very giving with his money. That's one thing I love about the big fella, and so happy that he's working with us here and been a business partner and friend of mine. I'm pretty proud of this thing that you got rolling. It's been quite incredible to see the reviews coming in, and I know some people feel uncomfortable when they hear this topic, but let's just say your co-star, your son, has a little sugar in his tank. Is that right?
No, we won't say that. We're going to say she has transgendered, and she's being who she wants to be. That's what Clean Slate is all about. It's about living, listening, even if you're uncomfortable. It's about learning to live with people who want to be who they want to be. And the character Harry, George Wallace, also, we're learning something we don't know about. That's what's right about America. We can listen and we can learn and we can promote love. That's what this show is doing, promoting love. And I love it because America in this climate is something that we need to do. Stop with the hate and let's start with the love. Love, when you love people and laugh, love and laughter. Don't forget, always keep love and laughter in your life, because when you stop laughing, you stop living. Enjoy life and let other people enjoy life. And you will be educated along with me. That's what Clean Slate is all about. That's why we're in 200 countries and territories, and that's why this show has been translated into every language. And Clean Slate, running right now, streaming right now on Prime Video. You're going to really enjoy it. There's some moments of laughter, tears, and we do it all with humor. And it's like working with Norman Lear. Everything he touched was controversial. All in the Family, the Jeffersons, and so is Clean Slate. So this is a show we want America to watch. You know, everybody deserves a clean slate. Sometimes it's all about you in the wrong. I was in the wrong about my daughter returning. Left home as a son, came back as a daughter, but you know what? That's my child. I'm going to love my child no matter what, no matter what. My parents loved me. You know, sometimes it could be drugs. It could have been child abuse. No matter why the child left home, the prodigal child is back, and I'm going to do my part on learning to love, and my community is backing me. It's just like me coming straight out of Linwood Park, Atlanta, Georgia. They just learned to love. And I was telling Shaq about this, and he was just going, "That's a good story, Mr. Wallace." And, well, he didn't say it like that. He said, "That's a good story, Mr. Wallace. I really like your story." So it's a great show, and we're airing right now, Prime Video. And there's 8 episodes, and you got to watch and then get back to me. We got great reviews, even on Rotten Tomatoes. We got a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, we are just blessed. LA Times, we got People Magazine. Over the weekend, we did the NAACP Image Awards, and then we did the Oscars. We talked about this show everywhere, and this show is getting rave reviews, and I'm just happy about it because I come up with the idea. I went to Norman Lear, and I went to Laverne Cox, and we all put it together, and now we're all executive creative producers. It's just wonderful, and I thank God for what has happened in our lives.
I know we were really sad to lose Norm recently, Norman Lear, the legendary TV sitcom writer and director. Is this the last known work for Norman Lear, the legend? Is this the last project he worked on?
This is the last project that Norman Lear produced before he kicked the bucket. And at 100 years old, he went to every meeting we had at every studio, made every studio. And as you can see me, I always have a hat. That's the secret to longevity. Wear a cap, wear a hat.
Yeah, and what's the theory behind that? Protects your head or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I just made that up because I wear a hat and he wears a hat.
Well, hey,
my job is to make up lies, make up jokes, and that's what Clean Slate. No, Clean Slate is all about real life because the climate of America is about enjoying life, and I just think it's good for stop the hate and America comes together and we laugh together. Laughter is healing for the soul.
I agree with you 100%, George. Wallace, our guest. The new show is called Clean Slate, available on Amazon Prime. 8 episodes. You could binge watch them on Amazon on Prime. They're available now. With the title called Clean Slate, which I guess would suggest a starting fresh, a clean slate, is there any time in your life, George, where you had to completely start over and maybe change the way you looked at something, or a time where you had to start with a clean slate in your life?
Yes. My best friend, Jerry Seinfeld, I can't stand him. I never liked him from day one. But but I made a clean slate. I thought about it. I said, this guy's not such a bad guy. And you know what? We wound up being friends for 48 years. To this day, we're best friends. First day I met him, couldn't stand him. He couldn't stand me. We said, we can do better. So, yes, that's my clean slate. But everybody deserves a second chance in life. Many reasons people leave home or leave life, or even a lot of things happening in people's family. But you can always get together and say, I can do better. Mostly it's an inner problem with yourself. So just say, you know what? Let me just enjoy life.
I remember a big role you had. You were in one of those Batman movies. I think it was it The Dark Knight Rises? Was that the Batman movie you were in?
Batman Forever. Batman Forever.
Who, in your opinion, is the best Batman? Because there's been a lot of people chattering. Is it Michael Keaton?
And I can't even say, because let me tell you something. I have a problem. I need a clean slate. I have never went to a movie where I didn't fall asleep. When my role came up in Batman Forever, they said, George, wake up.
How did you get this gig for this new show, Clean Slate, when Morgan Freeman is still alive? I'm not understanding how did you get this gig?
I hate Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman is not my good friend. I had a chance to work with Morgan on a show called Just Getting Started. Worked with him for 6 months. Ooh, that man is crazy. I hate him. Every role I went out for, he got it, okay? Even lean on me. I could have said, lock the doors, Mr. Flores, lock the doors. And he got driving Miss Daisy. Hell, I'm from Atlanta. I know more about Atlanta than Morgan Freeman does. But Morgan Freeman, he talked about my mama every day. I'm going to kill him when I see him. Morgan Freeman, what a great man, great friend. So, yes, Morgan Freeman, that's why I have the gray hair. Because I'm taking all his roles now. See what happened? I'm taking Morgan's roles now.
You finally got one up on Morgan Freeman. You came up in the legendary New York comedy scene of the 70s. What was it like back then, working with like Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Eddie Murphy? It was an exciting time in comedy, right?
Ooh, man, just think. And I had to follow them every night. But we didn't have the sense enough to know we was following legends. Well, everybody was kind of new then except Richard. And we're all still friends today. And Eddie and everybody. I just wish Eddie would come back and do more stand-up. Comedy was really fun then. Robin was crazy. Robin Williams and I were born on the same day, July 21. Do you know more entertainers and celebrities born on July 21 than any other day of the year? July 21. Look them up. So many people born on July 21st. So comedy was great back in the 70s. I wish you could have. Sometimes I would do up to 7 sets a night, running from Catch a Rising Star to the Improv in New York to the comic strip. That was the real comedy boom. The real comedy boom. Nobody was here. That was less than 50 comedians when we started. Less than 50 comedians. And one of the greatest, I think, was George Carlin. Oh, my God. This guy was one of the greatest comedians ever. Between he and Richard, they both are number one as far as I'm concerned.
Now, you had a lot of appearances on The Tonight Show, which I know was a big thing for comedians. If you could get the host to laugh, you would definitely get a notch in your belt. Which show do you feel like you had better sets on? Was it The Tonight Show or the show with David Letterman? Because I know you were on both shows quite a bit.
I did them all. And if you this Sunday, just 2 days ago, I was on CBS talking about The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and an impact he had on comedians' lives. I did the Tonight Show on a Thursday, and Friday night I was in front of 17,000 people. Johnny Carson was great. I was with him. I was with David Letterman hosting the show. Jay Leno more than anybody. I think I did a few Joan Rivers, but the best show for me was Arsenio Hall, believe it or not. I did Arsenio more than any other comedian, and it really kind of put me on the map. And I thank God for Arsenio Hall all the time.
Yeah, Shaq had a big performance when he came out with the Fushnikins on Arsenio Hall. A lot of people have legendary appearances on that show. I wish he would bring that back to late night. Why do you think they don't bring that back?
Well, we try to, but that's what I would like to do, too. That's my next goal, is to bring back a show maybe on a Saturday night,
Yeah.
I don't want to be number one, but maybe just an alternative to Saturday Night Live.
Now, what about all the times that you were doing morning show radio? How does that work? Working late comedy club gigs and then getting up early and doing morning show radio is a whole nother animal. You were on with Isaac Hayes. I mean, legends like Tom Joyner in the radio business. Talk about your radio days. That had to be fun.
Man, radio was so much fun. I started off in Chicago, number one, WGCI, George Wallace and Gene Sparrow. George Wallace got me jumping in the morning. Did that. I did Tom Joyner for 15 years. With Tom and J. Anthony Brown and Myra J. and Miss Dupree and Sybil. Then I went to Washington, D.C. and Atlanta with Les Brown Morning Show, Radio 1. And then I went up into New York City, WBLS and KISS FM. And then I went to Las Vegas for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I wound up being in Las Vegas 15 years, 10 years at the Flamingo and 5 years at the Westgate Hotel. And I owned the shows. I did not work for the hotels. I owned the show. I did all the marketing. I produced the show. I did the advertising, everything. So life has been great. I just love radio. I love talking to you right now.
Yeah, I'm not understanding how you had the time to do all this because you had like a Hall of Fame radio career. You've had a Hall of Fame comedy career. And then also, what about the music? I know you were on stage with Diana Ross. You're on stage with Smokey Robinson. You're doing Motown moves with Temptations. What a career, man.
I did everything.
My goodness,
I was
George.
Tom Jones, the great Tom Jones, for 5.5 years, learning to be a comedian, opening with all of these, Donna Summer, Helen Reddy, like Paul Anka, who wrote the Tonight Show thing. I'm so blessed. You know, if I die tomorrow, the world owes me nothing. I just love what I do. When you love what you're doing, you don't have a job. I teach the young kids today, make sure you enjoy your life. And then sometimes I just thank God. I choke up when I thank God for my career. And sometimes I thank God. I'm choking up right now because all I do is lie. I just love to lie. I love to make up stuff. And they pay me for it. You know what I'm saying?
So it's a lie. You're really not enjoying yourself on this interview, but it's been a good time.
The truth of the fact of the matter is I love what I do, and I just love telling jokes. When you see happy people, it makes me happier. Laughter is healing for the soul. See?
I'm loving sitting here talking with the Reverend, the Doctor, George Wallace, and his new show, Season 1, 8 episodes now available on Amazon Prime. You know who I miss, George, is Red Fox, man. Man, if you want to...
Oh, man. You know, I had the opportunity to write for Red Fox, the Red Fox Show, after he left Sanford and Son. And that's how Clean Slate came about, me wanting to reboot the Sanford and Son. And that's when I went to Norman Lear. And we got together. We made it happen. Norman Lear and Laverne Cox, co-executive producers, and we're enjoying the show. Make sure you're watching.
I did watch it. I noticed your character. He owns a car wash. He's got him a nice convertible, and he's a big Alabama fan. You being from Atlanta, I'm curious. I mean, Georgia Tech, you got the Dogs, the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, how did you feel about putting on that Alabama jersey? Were you okay with it?
No, I wasn't okay. I had to be okay because I'm the co-executive producer. What you do when you really want to do a good acting job, as you notice, I didn't use George Wallace as my name. When you're acting, you got to go completely opposite of who you are. So that's why I went with the Alabama, because now I got to really act. Then people think, why did you choose Alabama over Georgia? You know I'm a Georgia fan. I'm a Georgia Tech fan, and so I took Alabama. Now you know I'm really acting.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job on the new show, Clean Slate. One final question for you, George, before we let you go.
Are you sure this is the final question?
I mean, if you want, I could ask you 10 or 20 more. I could talk to you all day, George, but I know you're a busy guy and you got a lot of people to talk to.
And you know I don't have a job, so I'm willing to talk 10 or 20 more.
That's very kind of you, George, but I'll just ask you one more thing before I let you go. If people could remember one thing about George Wallace, what would you want it to be?
Just enjoying life more than anybody else. I've been the most successful comedian that ever lived. It's not how much money you make, it's how you enjoy your life while you're living. And having a passion for making people laugh is just all I want to do. Matter of fact, on my headstone on my grave, it's going to read, I hope you enjoy life like I did.
Well, I enjoyed having you on, George. Thank you so much. You've been very nice with your time, and we'll be watching the show, Clean Slate, available now on Amazon Prime. Season 1, 8 episodes. Go binge watch it. And again, thanks for coming on. I'll tell Shaq you said what's up.
You tell Shaq his granddaddy called. He'll know about it. Thank you so much.
All right, take care. God bless you.
Bye-bye now. Give Gentry my home number. Let him call me Direct Art.
Okay, I'll do that.